started now, and I'll ask Michael. Michael, perhaps if you could introduce yourself first.
Okay, thank you, Graham. Hello, everyone. Thank you for having the time to find out more about the Masters in Management here at Cranfield. I am Professor Michael Dickman, and I am one of the two co-directors of the course, and I have been directing the course for the last 6 years. Layla, over to you.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. I'm Layla Lingen. I'm a senior lecturer and the other course director of the MSc Management.
Thanks, Layla. And Nagenthra, could we ask you to just quickly say hello?
Hi, everyone. My name is Naganethra Reddy, and I come from Bangalore, India. And it's great to see so many of you here from different countries showing interest in Cranfield. Thank you.
Thanks. Luke?
Yes, hello, my name's Luke. I am a current student on the Management Masters, also a course rep like Naganethra, so we'll be happy to ask any questions that anyone has.
Brilliant, thank you, Luke. And Hannah?
Yep, so I'm Hannah. I sit within the careers team, and my job title is the Internships and Projects Manager, so I get quite heavily involved with the internship element of the Masters in Management course.
Brilliant, thanks, Hannah. So let's dive straight into this, Michael, if we can. So why would early career professionals, or why should early career professionals consider further business education in the form of a Cranfield Masters in Management degree?
Okay, thanks, Graham. Look, I think people who are on the call have a reason why, but from my point of view, it's lifelong learning is incredibly important in our knowledge-driven society, really, right? And in Cranfield, we have particular take on this. We go beyond knowledge to also incorporate skills and personality as well as leadership in the Masters in Management, because we believe the combination of that gives you a truly sustainable career in reality. And at any rate, the current job markets makes it most attractive to invest in a master's at any rate, because I've seen it now in the last decades. Higher education becomes more and more valuable actually to people. Okay, and the more likely you work in a highly competitive economy like in the UK, the more needed is this kind of educational background and the way to know how to learn and walk your leadership journey, basically. And then lastly, I think we are all stuck in a pandemic. And COVID really shows us the world needs better, wiser, and more responsible leaders, who can master situations that are actually really highly uncertain, and they can design flexible work approaches that need to be successful. So MIM would help you on that journey.
Thanks, Michael. So going a bit further than that, then I suppose, what does the typical Masters in Management student benefit from?
Okay, well, I think it's probably about 3 different key areas, and we call that knowledge into action. This is our strap line in Cranfield. We also call it credibility and capability. And then lastly, something we're proud of is the closeness that we bring. Students are close to faculty, to each other, and to business. Okay, let me delve into those. So knowledge into action is something about our distinctiveness. Okay, we give leading edge knowledge with a relentless practical focus here in Cranfield. And how do you acquire this? It's through an intensive learning experience, really. Yeah, and you're not just learning on the course, but actually you are also engaged in consultancy through some modules, and you have a strong usability angle in all of our modules and across the whole course. Credibility and capability, the second point, is really, I mean, credibility is something to do with being a good university and being highly ranked, right? So when you go out into the job market, people hopefully have an understanding what it means to have a master's from Cranfield. But capability is more than that. That has to do with you continuing your leadership journey throughout your life and understanding yourself as a leader, understand your impact on others, and then understand how you lead them, basically. We are particularly proud of our approach to leadership here in Cranfield, because it starts with understanding yourself through psychometric tests and then build on that. And the last point was that I wanted to raise was closeness to faculty, student, and business. We are trying very hard, and you can ask the Luke and Nax on the call, of course, that we continue to teach face-to-face during the COVID time. We have an open door policy, which means that people can approach us, and we try to respond to their issues. That leads not just from the students' point of view to closeness to us as faculty, but I believe also there's a closeness of student part here. And that is, there are highly international, our students, and we are in a location that's outside London, about an hour away, but a campus location. And that actually helps students to become closer with each other, because unlike in big cities where you go out and you spend your evening more or less together or in small groups to go to the cinema, so here you actually have a much higher chance to interact with other students and in bigger groups. So the campus location encourages that, and we encourage that through learning teams, and Layla might talk more about that, but also through other social activities, including our hope to be able to go to Spain for a month next year. And then lastly, closeness to business. We are proud that we work so hard and so intensively with business, but of course for the Masters in Management, the biggest element here is the internship with a variety of businesses from many different countries, from many different industries.
Thanks, Michael. So final question from me really at this stage is, what, in your view, what typically happens to MIM graduates in terms of their careers?
Well, on one level, they'll be better and evidence-based managers and leaders. But on another level, I think what you really mean is probably the kind of job destinations that they're going at. I mean, Hannah is on the call. She can also answer, but a large percentage actually get a job with their internship providers. And others join a range of companies. These might be consultancies, they might be in banking, in accountancy, pharmaceutical companies, engineering. Some stay in the UK, some go to Europe or back home if it's outside Europe. Sometimes they join the companies of their parents, but there's a wide variety, but we know that the employment figures are very, very high.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks. Okay, so at this stage, if you've got any further questions that haven't already been answered by Michael there, please feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll get round to those a bit later on. But I'm going to hand over now for a course overview with Layla.
Thanks, Graham. Okay, brilliant. So I'm going to start by giving you a bit of more background into the School of Management, where the MSc in Management is delivered. But I like to sort of spend most of the time to kind of talk about the course content and a structure, and share a few highlights with you. So I've got some slides to share with you. Brilliant. I hope you can see my slides. Great. So, I mean, the School of Management was formally established in 1967. So it's kind of one of the oldest business schools in Europe. And we are immensely proud to hold triple accreditations of AACSB, AMBA, and ANIQUIS. It's sort of placing us in the top 1% of the business schools in the world. As Michael mentioned, the School of Management is well known for personal development. So there is a very big emphasis on our students as individuals. So they're constantly encouraged to kind of engage in self-reflection journey, and the fact that they come out of that journey, so aware of themselves, not just who they are and what is it that they do, but as Michael said, how they impact other people, we believe would really make them effective leaders. Another very unique thing about School of Management is its close link with industry. So we're sort of married to industry in different capacities, through sponsored research, consulting work, teaching on the executive courses, but also providing organizations with interns. And that's where the MSc in Management students sort of come in. So the sort of our MSc management course is ranked top 5 in the UK between 2017 and 2021. We also ranked 6th by the latest QS ranking and 28th in the world. And we really believe that, some of the unique aspect of the course, like international course experience, career prospect, internships, really sort of the things that we've been passionately working on, these rankings really sort of reward them. I mean, MSc management, as Michael mentioned, we have one aim and one aim only, and that is really to kind of prepare you for your future role, right? So to be able to kind of equip you with knowledge and practical skills that you would need to tackle complex business challenges. To assure that, the course is co-designed by actually senior professionals and industry advisors to sort of ensure the practicality of the course. And you really experience a blend of theory and practical application through, a range of consulting projects, simulations, competitions, but also the opportunity to sort of gain work experience through the 3 months internship. And I'm going to speak more on that later on as well. The course is accredited by CMI, Chartered Management Institute, and that is the only professional body in the UK that is dedicated to promoting excellence in management and leadership. And gaining a qualification along your degree would really help you to sort of gain advantage in the sort of crowded, competitive market. So that was just an overview of the course. But in terms of the course structure, the course is kind of organized in 4 terms, if you like. It sort of features a mix of core modules as well as the elective modules. So the modules appear in the lighter blue band is the core modules or compulsory modules. So we cover a wide range of topics, from accounting and finance, strategy, marketing, operations, to softer topics in management and leadership, such as, people management, organization behavior. And the emphasis on sustainability actually runs through all of the modules across the course. But we do have also a dedicated module on leading corporate sustainability that is, again, highly experiential. You will be playing a scenario exploration game in that module. You're also going to have choices. So, and this is from a range of elective modules, and this is a chance to kind of gain, in-depth knowledge about a topic that Cranfield is well known for, such as, entrepreneurship, supply chain management, in line with your career aspirations. The course also will give you the opportunity, the unique opportunity to study 1 month in Spain, to study 2 of the compulsory modules, management consulting and effective cross-cultural management. So international learning is something that we're really passionate about for the MSc management. We really believe, multicultural environments enable our students to kind of comprehend new ideas better. They make them more flexible. But I think more importantly, in line with our purpose, would prepare them for, all-inclusive global industry where they're constantly required to kind of work with people from other cultures. So that's a very sort of a unique opportunity. And actually, since last year, we're also delighted to offer all of our MSc management the opportunity to gain the working knowledge of a second useful language, like Spanish or French. The focus is on speaking rather than writing, but that would be a good opportunity for our students to be able to hold simple conversations as kind of before they travel to Spain. We also have a meme speaker series where we invite thought leaders from industry, academia and government to come to Cranfield and share their views with our students. We're really passionate about providing a student with real life experiences, and that speaker series is really a good platform that enable us to achieve that. Okay, brilliant. I hope that kind of give you a bit of an overview of how the courses are structured in terms of terms and modules and so on. So what I'd like to do now is kind of give you share with you a few highlights so that we can kind of go deeper in one of a few aspects of the course. I mean, one of the highlights of the course is always management consulting, and this is one of the modules that actually takes place in Spain. And this is a chance for our students to kind of engage in a real life consulting project with a well-known organization whose executive will meet with you. We worked, for example, with Ernst & Young on how to engage millennial in the workplace. We worked with Citigroup. We worked with Baker Hughes, the technology energy giant. And last year, our students worked with Korn Ferry, the consulting firm based in Los Angeles, and they worked on actually the company succession and assessment offerings. So they looked at the market perception of the company's offering, they looked at the pain points. So it's an extremely engaging module. It's a lot of fun. You'll be working in teams, and you have to kind of present back to the clients. So the client's always very happy with our students' sort of work. They save a consultancy, but also it's really beneficial and rewarding for the students to kind of engage in that process of consulting. Another highlight of the course is the effective cross-cultural management. That's the second module that actually takes place in Spain, in Granada. The module is designed and led by Michael, and he's really passionate about this topic. He brings lots of interesting real life stories to the classroom. The module is about gaining theoretical knowledge about recent management and leadership issues of working in multicultural environment, domestic but also internationally. So the module really gives you the opportunity to kind of fully immerse yourself into Spanish culture while obtaining theoretical knowledge around cross-cultural management. So you can sort of visit our student page to kind of learn more about students' experience. You look at blogs and photos and learn from them firsthand. So throughout the course, I mean, we have a very practical approach to teaching and learning, and the students engage in a number of simulations and role plays. So one of the modules where you'll be playing a simulation game is supply chain management. So the students will have the opportunity to kind of manage a real life supply chain, a fashion retail supply chain in teams again. So the game sort of allows them to develop their strategy at a high level, and they can translate it into action. So throughout the game, they have the opportunity to sort of make a number of decisions and see the impact of those decisions on the overall profitability of their supply chain. So it's a lot of fun. The game tried to sort of replicate a 24/7 environment that supply chain managers face today. So you'll be announcing deadlines where you have to complete the task by a certain time. So it's a lot of fun and energy while you're sort of learning about supply chain. So that's one of our elective modules. Okay, brilliant. So apart from the kind of the formal teaching and learning, there are a number of extracurricular activities where the student can kind of engage in. It really depends on your interest and what is it that you're passionate about. But there are a number of speaker series, seminars, networking events. Something that we're really passionate and we always promote it to the students and encourage them to kind of take part is a student challenges and competitions. And this is a chance for the students to kind of work with people beyond the discipline of management, from science and engineering, and kind of work on, again, a real life problem. So last 3 years, the students taken part in Unilever, Cranfield and Unilever Innovation Accelerator Challenge, where they've been mentored by Unilever professionals. It's a very engaging 3 months process where you learn about the challenge and you work towards a solution, a pragmatic, achievable and innovative solutions. So we had the winning team 2 years ago, runner-up prize the year before, and this year we had, again, Andreas with us on the call. He can talk about his experience, but he also been part of the winning team as well as their runner-up team. So again, really good chance to kind of learn about real life problems, the problem of management, but also engage with people from other disciplines and work towards a solution. Excellent. So last but not least, I'd like to say a few words about internships, and we've got Hannah on the call as well. I mean, to sort of, if you've got any questions, please put them in the chat. But we see internships as a continuation of what people actually learn on the course. So we believe the learning cycle is not completed unless you actually put into practice what you learn throughout the taught modules. So every management MSc pursues a 3-month internship from 1st of June to the end of August. And this is a chance, again, to kind of get exposed to the reality of management, a real life problem. So this is a good opportunity to kind of expose you to the reality of management and provide you with a platform to be able to apply what you learned throughout the course into a real life setting. So we work with a number of companies around the country internationally to draft and come up with some project briefs. We advertise them to our MSc in management. You engage in the process, you learn how to develop your CV, you apply for them, you go to the interviews, you receive feedback. And we believe that process itself is really powerful and amazing for learning. So regardless of the outcome, the ability to kind of improve yourself and engage in that process is really really helpful, and really help you to sort of build emotional resilience as well, to kind of, again, back to our main purpose, to sort of prepare you for your future job. So, I mean, last year, 100% of the students internship seeking students managed to secure one. So we're really, really proud of them, 94% of the whole cohort. And as you can see, they work with a number of organizations, you know, engineering, GKN, Coca-Cola, we had Sanofi, Ocado, the online retailer in the UK, a number of consulting firms as well, such as Deloitte, KPMG, 4C Associates, some of the specialized consulting. And those with an asterisk are organizations that already made an offer to the students who undertaken their internships. So it's kind of like an overview. Obviously, if you've got any questions, please put them in the chat and we can speak more. I mean, just a snapshot of the types of career. I mean, Michael covered most of it, but about 95% of the students managed to find an employment 3 months post-graduation. Again, with a range of companies, so management consulting, always very popular. We had many students join Capgemini in the past, PwC, UBS Group in Switzerland, Eurogroup in Germany. So across Europe and in the UK, we've got someone who joined the NHS, the National Health System. Again, amazing organization. So you can see it's kind of like a wide range from manufacturing to service to consulting, as well as some emerging specialist consulting organization and hedge funds and so on. Okay, brilliant. Just a quick one on the current class profile. We've got 2 students with us as well, and they can talk about their experience, you know, in more depth. But we have a very large class this year, 128 students, with the average age of 24 years. We've got 4 nationalities on the course, with 89% international and 11% UK and EU. So it's an extremely diverse course, and people actually bring a lot of diversity, not just from the point of view of nationality, but also from their experiences and their background. So we've got students who have an engineering background, or management, or you know, any you know, all different types of background and different range in terms of experience before. So it can kind of create a really diverse group. Okay, brilliant. So I hope that given you a bit of background, Graham. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pause, and if we can invite the students, and then we take it from there.
No problem. Thank you, Layla. So what we'll do is we'll hand over to 2 of our current students. So Nagenthra and Luke. We'll start with you, Nagenthra, if that's okay, and just tell us a bit about your experience.
Thank you, Graham. Hello, everyone. My name is Nagenthra. I'm a current MSc Management student. I am also the social media representative of the course, so you could also consider it once you're into the course. I will give you my top 3 reasons of why I chose Cranfield, and I'll also try to summarize my current experience of how it's been going here. So number 1 for me was academics. The practical pedagogy has given me an entirely different perspective on how I look at industries. For example, I feel I have this different skill sets, or I'm developing new skill sets where I can use to identify various trends in different industries. The professors are brilliant. They know exactly what they're talking about. They are very rich in experience as well in their particular areas. And the focus on group work, especially in modules like project management and economics, it gives us a very practical touch to the whole learning when we combine it with the theoretical knowledge we've gained. And while doing group work, we really explore ourselves of how we work in different with different people. So sometimes you don't get along with people. So you try to really explore yourself in the whole process as well. And the second point is the career resources that Cranfield has. Like we have Hannah in the meeting, she will probably speak about it more than I will. But as a student, when I was choosing Cranfield, I understood that Cranfield has a very rich resources in terms of how they channelize our career. They help us to channelize our thoughts and even get ready of how we can make our CVs better, our cover letters better. And overall, if we are kind of lost, we don't know what direction to go in, they will also help us in that way. And they also have psychometric tests and these other softwares that will help you develop your CV and your skills generally. The third point is the inclusion and diversity. Like Michael mentioned before, it's a campus university. So naturally, you tend to meet a lot of people from different countries, and you're all here in the campus, and you develop these bonds which will last a lifetime. So there are a lot of clubs and societies you can join at the same time where you meet different people from different courses. So it's not just the MIM program that you would have to find diversity in. There's the whole university offering it to you as well. And it also helps you learn different cultures as well. So overall, it has been a wonderful experience for me. I think congratulations to all of you who have got your offer and accepted your offer. And to the rest of you who are still deciding whether to take it or not, I hope you weigh your pros and cons and make the right decision. I hope to see you at Cranfield soon. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Luke, we'll go to you next.
Yes, so my name is Luke. As I mentioned, I am one of the course reps, and I can absolutely echo everything that Nags has said so far. I think she summed up the course and Cranfield perfectly, actually. And that's pretty common across all the students who I've spoken to. They all hold similar views there. I'd just like to mention 3 more points. The first of which is, I think the scope of the course is very, very well defined. So as you saw from Layla, there's a lot of modules, and for most of you, you won't have formal business education before, so you probably haven't done economics or business at undergraduate. And that means there's a lot of areas of business to cover in not much time. You know, it's only a year, 13 months, and of that, only 9 months is teaching time. So there's a lot of different modules to cover in not much time. And I think what Cranfield does very, very well is in that limited time we have for each module, actually making sure that we get the crucial information, you know, the most important things for managers to know for us to become competent managers. So I think the content there is very, very well defined. We get the important information, and I think they achieve that because, as Layla says, the structure and the content of the course is informed by industry advisors. Obviously, all the professors have a wealth of experience. So that's the first point. Leading on from that, second point is the method of teaching, I think, is perfect as well. Given that we've got that limited time span, you know, it needs to be taught in a way that's accessible and that's understandable to a diverse range of people. So the practical emphasis, presenting, debates, case studies, simulations, I think is perfect for getting that practical applied knowledge that you need in industry. And I think at the heart of that is collaboration. Again, it's been mentioned before, but from my experience, this is the closest knit university community I've ever been a part of. We've only been here a few months, and the cohort gets along fantastically. You know, everyone has that one thing in common, which is we want to learn about management. But at the same time, it's a very different, diverse cohort. So I think you really, really have a fantastic community to be a part of. And just to make a third point quickly, leading on from that, I think Cranfield, compared to the other universities I've seen, puts a lot more emphasis on actually having fun and enjoying yourself. Obviously, we're here to learn. We know that, but it's a big amount. It's a lot of time. It's 13 months. That's a big chunk of your life, and you want to have a good 13 months. You probably only do 1 master's, so it's you've got a really good chance to have a fantastic year here. And I think Cranfield really, really caters to that. So we have a lot of course events that are put on. So we went bowling with the course a couple of weeks ago. That was paid for by the course. It was fantastic. You know, Christmas parties and dinner with your learning teams, obviously going to Spain. I'm sure there'll be a lot of fun activities there, all as part of that community. So I think you'll have a really, really fantastic year here, as well as getting a great education.
Thank you, Luke. Thanks very much. We've also got Andreas on the call. Andreas, perhaps you can come off mute and talk to us a bit. You're an alumni of the programme, so it'd be great to hear from you as well.
Perfect. It feels really strange how instantly an alumni, like I feel still a student. It's like, it's so close, the data I gave my thesis, and it just feels weird. And then Luke made it even worse by saying it's a big chunk of your life. And I'm thinking, oh, it's over now. Like, you don't help, Luke, you don't help. Anyway, so pretty much everything is covered. And I think I'm the least prepared out of all the students to talk. But what I want to point out is that we had a drastically different experience than what the guys are having now. But we understood Cranfield's commitment to keep us in class, which for me was a winning reason. And generally, I believe COVID is here to stay. You see different variants, and maybe we will have new lockdowns. Maybe generally it's a university I trusted that will bring me in the class and will keep me there, because I always cherished that more than online teaching. I mean, we made Zoom work really fine, and we managed to have most of our cameras online and keep people engaged and do fun events and little small things like wear something, wear black in a class. But generally, I really, really cherish the experience of being there. And I believe that this year's cohort will have a much better experience than what we have. Other than that, generally, Cranfield will give you whatever you need. Obviously, there is a lot of personal effort you have to put in there, and you have to chase people, and you have to chase people for work. You have to ask questions. You have to be really active. You have to be engaged. You have to participate in class. But if you're willing to do that, and for somebody who is willing to push forward, you can have anything you need. Like, there isn't something that you won't find at Cranfield, and there isn't something like another university provides. Let's start with the basics. I mean, the most important stuff is careers. And I had so many meetings with Hannah, with Katrina. There's a lot of people in the career team. See who fits best your style and just go along with him and continue going with him. Obviously, Layla and Michael, you can bother them also. I'm going to bother Layla again in the future. I know that, because their advice is also very valuable. What else? Student competitions. I encourage you to participate to as many as you can. It's not that hard as I had it in mind, because I had friends who had participated in the master degrees, some of them in the States, and I had it in mind that, oh my God, this is something super, super hard, and it's for the really, really talented ones. Yes, but no also. Like, just go for it and you'll be impressed what we can do, what you can do, and what your team can do. So definitely participate in the Unilever one. It's a great name to have in a CV, even participating or going to the second phase. Definitely participate into the Adecco one. It's a simple one. There was some others for accounting. I'm not sure. It's not my strong fit, but if you're more capable in maths, maybe go for that also. Other than that, I think you've pretty much covered anything about working teams, about learning teams, about the modules, about the practicality. I would just like to leave you, like, be as engaged as you can, and you won't regret coming to this university. We'll give you whatever you need: strong alumni connections, mentoring events, career advice, all the right knowledge that you need. And yeah, I believe Cranfield was a good choice for me, and hopefully will be a good choice for you also.
Thanks, Andreas. So I'm just going to open up now. We're going to come back to careers. Hannah, who was with us, has had a laptop problem, and so is rejoining us at the moment, I think. So we'll come back to that in a moment or two. So we'll just open up if there's any questions for any of the panelists, or if you've got any questions specific about the course. If you want to come off mute and ask your question, then please feel free to do that. I can see there's quite a few of you on the call, so please feel free to do that if you wish, or you can put your question in the chat and we will answer it. Michael, Layla, while we're waiting, perhaps is there any other thoughts that you've had since listening to the current and past students that you want to add?
It's always very kind to hear current and obviously past students to talk so nicely about us. That's very kind of you guys. I think, Andreas, what you meant when you said the experience this year will be different from last year is because COVID has meant two things last year. One was that at some stage the university was closed and we did have to go virtual because even though we don't want to do that, the government made us do it. And the second one was that we couldn't go to Spain, I think, also COVID.
Mostly Spain.
I'm not talking much about it, Andreas, because I know there's a bit of disappointment there, but you will be invited to come to Spain this year. Okay, we'll make something nice. But whoever manages to, because of course you're now in the next phase, you're working and it's kind of hard. But if you manage to come over for a weekend or anything like that, that would be great.
We're really looking forward for that. I'm organizing around it too.
Are you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. That'd be good. Layla, did you have any comments?
Yeah, no, I think most of them are pretty much covered. But yeah, I think Michael and I are really passionate about developing the course, and we're sort of constantly engaging with our alumni. We've got alumni year representatives. We are continually in touch with them to sort of learn about their experience, but also what we can do to kind of make the course better. So that's something that we really have very high on our agenda. So and as you can see, so there are some sort of innovations that every year we add. We add in. Recently launched a speaker series. We have the kind of 1 month in Spain, so we've got language courses. So for us, it's a kind of a continuous sort of improvement journey, and we work closely with our students and alumni because we believe that they are part of this community, and it's a very much a collective effort. So this is something that we all kind of contribute, and something that we all should be proud of. So it's very much part of the experience. So that community is very important. So the students sort of join the alumni community really from the first day that they join Cranfield. They are part of that 70,000 alumni group. They can be really great source, like a social capital that you can always go to and and learn from, and that can support you with your career. So that community feel is really, really strong. I think at Cranfield, but also especially for the MSc management.
Excellent.
Thanks, Layla. We still don't seem to have Hannah back with us. She's obviously having some more.
Yeah, I think her laptop's got shut down. That's fine. I mean, I can just briefly go back to the internship and careers slide, and say a few words about again the process and careers. So I think as mentioned, the 3 months internship is very much one of the unique aspects of the course that we've been passionately working on. It's a huge undertaking because we engage with external organizations, and sometimes their priorities that don't necessarily align with ours, but we work with them and we very much sort of rely on the organization sort of problems, the problems that they've been struggling at the time. It can be something around Brexit, it can be around supply chain. So we cover all range of subjects from for example, how to embed resilience in your supply chain after COVID, how we can sort of respond faster to kind of disruptions. We experienced the shortage of drivers in the UK. So, we work on a problem that is quite relevant to the management. So, for example, we worked how to engage employees around the COVID time, around the remote working. So it's a very much problem-led project that we engage with companies, and we sort of organize them around some project briefs. So internships are mainly a strategic projects that the student take over 3 months to sort of deliver value to the organization. And that's something that we always hear from the organization, that they benefited from the project such that they want to sort of keep the intern and they want to sort of offer them the full-time employment. So as I said, we work with a range of companies. There can be large corporates or small businesses. There are sort of merits in both categories. So you're going to have a greater impact and flexibility when we work with a small organization. With the large corporates, obviously the brand can help you and help your CV, but there are some limitations, and you would be working as part of a very quite a structured system. And I think it really depends on your career aspiration and what is it that you want to gain out of this experience. So sometimes we had a lady last year who was been working at HSBC for a very long time. but she wanted to experience kind of working in a startup environment, and she kind of used that as an opportunity to learn how it feels like if you work in a startup setting, where there are not established processes in place and so on. So yeah, it's really a chance to kind of to experience something new, but also to kind of build your network, because especially for those of you who haven't been in the UK, this is a chance to kind of build relationships with some people, and that can be a good really starting point for your career. As I said, the process is really set up for the learning more than the career side. I mean, the career side is always a benefit, a plus, but we sort of designed it so that you can engage in that process of constantly reflecting on your CV, because you have to sort of develop and frame your capabilities and skills depending on the job advert. So there's a very a strong learning elements in that, as well as the sort of the emotional resilience side of it. So yeah, this is just a kind of a background into the sort of internship process. In terms of careers, as I said, the students joined all sorts of organizations from large to small across sectors, industries and locations. So we work with some specialized consulting companies. For example, we work with 4C Associates. It's a consulting company specialized in supply chain and procurement. And they've been offering internships for a number of years now, and recruited the students after the internship. There is also another path, an alternative path for the students to source their own internship. So if there's an organization that the student has passion for or has already got some linkages or contacts, they can also pursue that path, and we provide support by helping them to scope the project. So there are two routes mainly, one Cranfield-led, where we source the projects and advertise them. At the same time, the student have the opportunity to apply to their own internship companies and secure sort of an internship and employment. So one of our students last year secured an internship with Deloitte in Paris, and he's been offered a full-time employment after the completion. So I think both paths has been really successful. It depends what works for you, but yeah, I can assure that we're here to sort of support to whatever they want to achieve. Yeah, I hope that covered the career side, Graham.
Thanks, Layla. Yeah, absolutely. And we're obviously still struggling to get Hannah. She's obviously had quite a major issue with her laptop, unfortunately. So really just a last shout out to questions. If you've got any questions for any of our panelists, please do feel free to come off mute and ask the question or put it into the chat. I'll just give you sort of a minute or two before we, I guess if Michael and Layla, you're happy, if there's no further questions, we end the call, but I'll just give it a second or two to see if there's anybody with any further questions.
Kind of almost self-reflecting. What happened to us, leaving all questions answered? Right, this has not happened to me yet.
Absolutely. Okay, so it's not looking like we've got any questions. So I guess it just remains for me then to say thank you for attending the webinar today, or watching it back if you've watched the recording. Thanks for joining us, and let's hope we see you at Cranfield at some point in the future. Thank you all. Yep. Thanks, panelists.
Good luck and have a great finish to the year, really. Stay healthy.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for joining.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.